Steps on the roof. You've been asking for real creepy stories that are long enough, with details that give you chills, for a long time now, and here's one that still keeps me from sleeping peacefully. A couple of years ago, I was renting an apartment on the top floor, the fifth, in an old 1978 panel building in a residential neighborhood. The place was cheap, and the landlord, an elderly grandpa, just waved it off when handing over the keys. The roof sometimes makes noise from the wind and pigeons. Don't pay attention. I didn't think much of it. Work, part-time studies, exhaustion. Who cares about the roof? The first week was quiet, but on the 8th night, I woke up at exactly 3:17 to clear heavy footsteps right above me. Not creaking, not raindrops, just the footsteps of an adult man, slow, measured, from one end of the roof to the other, then back. I lay in the dark, staring at the ceiling, convincing myself it was a squirrel or a cat, but the sound was too heavy. The next night, it happened again at the exact same time, 3:17. I got up, went out to the balcony, shone my phone flashlight upward. The roof was empty, moonlight, no one, no birds. I went back to bed. The footsteps started again, as if waiting for me to lie down. On the third night, I didn't sleep. I waited. Exactly at 3:17, footsteps. I grabbed a flashlight, went out into the stairwell, climbed to the technical floor. The door to the roof was locked with a padlock. Dust untouched, cobwebs intact. No one had been there for months. I started recording on my voice recorder. The recording captured everything. Footsteps, then a pause, as if the person stopped right above my bed. Then a quiet thud, like someone sat down by the ventilation pipe. I told the neighbor on the 4th floor. He laughed, but then quietly said, "That's the old owner walking. In 1992, he hanged himself, right in your apartment, on the pipe in the bathroom. His wife left, his daughter disappeared that same evening. She was 5. Since then, new tenants don't stay long." I'm a skeptic, of course, but on the 5th night, the footsteps changed. They stopped above the bed and didn't continue. Then a quiet child's voice came, barely audible but clear, as if from under the ceiling. "Daddy, I'm here down below." I turned on the light, checked the whole apartment. No one. In the morning, a wet spot appeared on the bedroom ceiling in the shape of a small child's handprint. It dried by evening, but the outline remained. On the 6th night, I set up a camera on a tripod, pointed it at the ceiling. The night was quiet, no footsteps, no voice. But in the morning at 3:17 on the recording, there was a noise like someone breathing right into the microphone. Then the same child's voice, "Why won't you open?" On the video, nothing, just the ceiling. I packed my things in a day and left for my parents. The landlord called a week later. "You forgot an old child's shoe on the kitchen, red, small. Where did you even get it?" I've never had kids, and there was nothing like that in the apartment. I told him to throw it away and not call again. Ever since, before renting anywhere, I always ask the neighbors and search online whether there were any suicides or missing children in the building. And if I hear footsteps overhead, I move out immediately. The voice from the forest. Here's another long, detailed story that happened to my group of friends in the summer of 2023, and is still the scariest overnight trip we talk about in our group chat. 4 of us guys decided to go for a 2-day hike into a remote forest about 60 kilometers from the city. We picked a spot on the map, a clearing by the river, no trails, no cell service, complete silence. We took tents, sleeping bags, food, a guitar, a grill, pure romance. We arrived in daylight, set up camp, lit a fire, grilled kebabs, sang songs with the guitar until midnight. The night was warm, stars like in a planetarium. Around 2 a.m., Dima said he was going into the bushes for a quick bathroom break. He left with a flashlight toward the river. About 3 minutes later, from the same darkness, we heard his voice. "Guys, come here quick. I found something insane." The voice was exactly his. Intonation, the little laugh at the end. We laughed. "Dima, stop messing around. Come back to the fire." But the voice answered, now closer to the camp. "Seriously, it's awesome. You won't believe it. Come fast." We shouted again. Silence. And then the real Dima walks out from the opposite side of the clearing with his flashlight and asks, "Why are you yelling? I just went." We all froze. He was standing in front of us, and at that moment his voice called again from the forest, now from the other side, farther away. "Come on, why are you sitting there? Come already." We shone flashlights all around. No one. The voice started moving, calling each of us by name. First me, then Sasha, then Kolyan. The intonation was perfect, like a recording of our own voices. We quickly put out the fire, grabbed only the essentials, and left along the river downstream, in the dark, stumbling. We walked for about 3 hours until we reached a dirt road. In the morning, we came back for the stuff at dawn. The camp was trashed, tents torn, things scattered, grill overturned. Around the fire pit, footprints, large bare adult feet, and next to them, small children's ones, as if they'd been walking in circles all night. On the nearest tree, carved with a knife, "Thanks for the fire, we'll be back." We drove to the local ranger and showed him photos of the tracks. He sighed. In 1987, a family got lost here. A father and his 7-year-old son went mushroom picking and never came back. Search parties only found their basket. Since then, in these parts, people sometimes hear voices, exactly like familiar ones. It mimics to lure you deeper into the forest. You got off easy. Since then, we only go to proper campgrounds and never answer voices from the dark. The man in the rearview mirror. And this story is the most personal and recent one. It happened to me in August 2025 when I was driving back at night from a friend's dacha on an empty highway. I was alone. The dashboard clock showed 1:42. The radio only picked up static, thick forest on both sides. The road was straight but monotonous. Eyes get tired. On one long stretch, I glanced in the rearview mirror and saw a silhouette on the back seat. A man in a dark long coat, pale face, eyes staring straight at me in the mirror. I blinked. Imagination? No, he was still there. I turned around sharply. The seat was empty, just my bag. I looked back in the mirror. He was sitting there, now leaning forward a bit, as if he wanted to say something. I floored it to 140, heart pounding so hard it rang in my ears. A couple of minutes later in the mirror, he was even closer, as if he'd crawled to the front passenger seat. I didn't look back anymore, just drove. At the next turn, I saw a gas station, pulled in, braked hard, jumped out, opened the back door. Empty, no smell, no traces. The attendant came out. "You okay? You're white as a sheet," I told him. He nodded. A lot of people see him on the stretch. In 2003, there was a terrible accident here. A car head-on with a truck. The driver fell asleep at the wheel. The passenger died on impact. Since then, he hitchhikes with lone drivers at night. They say he wants to be driven to the turnoff to his village. I drank coffee, waited for dawn, and continued in daylight. But the whole way, I didn't look in the rearview mirror. I covered it with a cloth. Since then, when I drive at night on highways, I always play loud music and never ever look back. And if someone flags me down on the roadside, I drive past.